Going home. And you are going to the streets. Okay. So we'll go ahead and transition back to Claudia then. Claudia, you've had your train arranged. You've were driven out there, got your ticket, got on time, and you've had a pleasant enough ride all the way out to Jersey City. Uh,
As is expected.
yes, indeed. First class, even. Nice, comfortable, even came with a wonderful meal.
Yeah, the diner car. We all smoke. Awesome. Yeah, so I guess after we're there, the next thing is to figure out where this factory is, which I could have been doing while I was on the train, but just cross-referencing it with maps.
Uh, right. Go ahead and go ahead and give me a roll. What would help you identify this location on a map and what kind of building it is?
Oh, what do you? Clicked the wrong thing here. Reading a bunch of maps is usually academic.
All right, go ahead and give me some mind in academics.
And I assume that since I have good maps, they would actually assist, right? I mean, it's not that the factory is hidden or anything.
Yeah, go ahead and roll DA to addition to it.
All right. Yeah, 2 successes. If it's a legit, first of all, it's a legitimate address, right?
By the looks of it, yes.
Okay, sometimes these places are scams. I mean, we could be a criminal enterprise. All right, so how far away is it from Jersey? You said it was in the Garden State, but I went to Jersey City because that's the biggest city where the train depot would be. How far away is it from there? Is it like in a remote location, or is it in the industrial district of the city?
It seems to be about an hour drive away from the city into a one of the larger other cities in the state.
Wow, a cab would be prohibitively expensive. I will hire a cab.
There you go. Because you're wealthy, and it doesn't matter.
Rich.
So you go ahead and take the cab, and of course, after all this travel, it's already nighttime by the time you get there. But
oh no, I assume this would have taken probably 11 or 12 hours, and that's assuming an express train. So this probably took a day.
Oh yeah, it's already night. Sun's down. Place is cool.
Okay, so it took even longer. It took like 36 hours, which makes sense.
But you do go ahead and follow down the address. The cab will even gladly drive you up to it if you want.
Well, I'm not going to go at night. I need to go during business hours because I actually want to like meet people and discuss business. So if I arrive late, I'll just crash at a hotel.
Okay. So you go ahead and crash at a hotel and spend the night with not much to bother you. It's not as if anyone knows that you're here in town or anything.
Yeah, but I, go hang out in like, like you go to like, the Empire, the Tavern on the Green or whatever, and hang out with the rich people and listen to rich people say stuff like, "Oh yes, put all your money in the stock market and banks. It's great."
Right. So you'll stay in Jersey City and then head out the following morning.
Yeah, all we ever do is get richer all the time. No limits. Could never stop, never fail.
Why, my business managed to foreclose on several of those workers.
Well, it doesn't happen yet. Now it's the era of the stock market's invincible. Buy.
I put in $20 and got back 40. It's guaranteed to print money with no consequences.
Yep. Banks don't need insurance. We don't need the government interfering with banks and insurance. Let the
collateral. What collateral? Just borrow some money and buy those stocks.
This could never go bad. It worked. It'll work now. It'll work in 100 years. Yeah, and then the next day I'll go ahead and take a cab.
Okay, so you'll go ahead and take a cab out and the following morning, and you will arrive at the other city. I didn't have a name and plan for it, unfortunately, but it's there. It's quaint. You guess there's the sign out front actually says there's about maybe 20,000 people here.
It might not even, if it's not incorporated yet, it might not even have a city name. So
it is incorporated. It's been around long enough, from what you can tell.
Okay, you just want to use like Greendale.
Yeah, let's just say Greendale for the time.
Okay, makes sense to me.
But we'll
Yes.
abandon it soon. Don't worry.
Okay, so we go out to this strange place. So it looks like it's yeah, because this time period, like when I did research in the 1900s and that kind of stuff, yeah, the people just you go to nowhere land and you build a giant factory that takes up a huge lot of space, and then people just come and move in. And although by now I think they've started passing the laws that mean you have to pay people actual money.
Oh no, anything but that.
No more company stores.
Yeah, the
But
company. That's where the company store thing comes from, where they paid you in monopoly money that could only be
Yeah.
used in the company store.
And then they overprice you for everything anyway.
Because what are you
okay,
gonna do?
definitely nothing wrong with the capitalists having like their own personal fiefdom, right?
Um, yep.
Nothing could go
So
wrong.
what could
But
go wrong?
so you basically just drive up to the location, right?
Yeah. So we'll take a look at it. Do they have a giant factory building or something like that, or?
It is in fact a large, intimidating concrete building, but from the outer looks of it, it looks like it might be some sort of mill slash storehouse. And it doesn't
Interesting.
look like anybody is here. In fact, it looks like this place hasn't been used for some time. There's actually
So
grass over in the parking lot.
it's a legit address, but it's an abandoned factory.
Correct.
All right. Well, it's time for me to go be nice and chat with the locals. Asking them questions like, "Hey, do you know about that factory up there? I'm kind of an out of town person here on business, and I thought it might be an opportunity, but can't help but notice that it doesn't look very active at all.
An
I'm just,
outsider? Let me tell you about our shared town history.
uh,
What do you
I,
have to ask questions?
I would love to hear all that. Well, the proper skill for asking questions of people is questioning, which I
Of
do
course.
not have.
Well, what a shame.
So instead, I will attempt to do the next best thing, which is when people are being nice, going to public places. Well, the proper thing to do, I think, is now that since I don't have questioning, I'll go to the Chamber of Commerce and say, "Hello, I'm a rich, bloated plutocrat who's interested in investing money in this town."
Well, let me just roll out the gold carpet for you right now.
So I'm guessing that would be mind, questioning, and possibly a D8 bonus from wealth.
Yes, and if you're willing to actually start discussing terms of some kind and what kind of investment you're really going to make out here, you could also add negotiation.
Okay, 2 skills I don't have.
Ah, dang it.
Thinking to myself, right? This is the point in the narrative where I think to myself,
If only you had friends.
well, if only I had social skills. So that's the thing to start thinking about. So,
Definitely.
so I only have 1 success. So asking, I would find something that a reasonably polite person would ask about. Can they tell me about that factory that's abandoned outside of town?
Oh, of course. That was built at least 20 to 30 years ago, but it hasn't been used for a while. See, we have a more modern one just up the road, actually. Patron of this town actually decided he didn't need the old one anymore, but instead of tearing it down, which would cost money, he just kind of left it there.
That makes sense. Who owns the current property? Because I'm interested in purchasing it.
Oh, that would be Mr. J. Collier.
Jay Collier. All right.
That's right, his estate's just sort of right on the east end of town, you see. Nice little neighborhood. Has a few of his friends over there, actually. He's been trying to lure them in for a few years. It's actually made this town grow quite a bit. Used to only be about 2,000 people.
Okay. So the other factory is a couple miles from here.
Oh, yeah, it's just sort of right down the road that way.
Okay. Well, and assuming I think to myself, assuming the time period, there's probably a bus that takes you there, which not that big of a deal. Okay.
Oh,
Well,
absolutely.
I mentioned that I thank him for the inquiries for the Chamber of Commerce. It's great to see that Greendale is a city on the grow. And
That you can see, solid investment right here in Greendale.
I'll do the glad handing. I'll exchange my information.
Put it
And
into his
then,
Rolodex.
yep. And yeah, good old Filofax. And then go to this town probably at least has a motel. It's big enough that it would have one.
Absolutely.
All right, check into a room. Now I will take a nap and wait for nightfall.
All right. You take a nap, wait for nightfall. Nightfall will arrive. No
All right.
mysterious assassins appear today.
Excellent. I will get out my Douglas S2 and ride out to the factory. Okay, so the weird part is the form that I was given. So the magazine lists this address, but the form to fill out to order the stuff was missing.
There were multiple forms. One of them was missing and torn out.
Right, but that might actually go to the magazine itself and not to the factory. Because I'm thinking, like, in order to order this stuff, they had to contact someone, which meant if they mailed this form, they had to mail it somewhere. So they might have actually mailed it to the magazine company. So I make a mental note of that, and then I'll ride out to the factory to take a look at it. I mean, it's abandoned, right? Like
One
you said
second.
earlier.
Yes, the old one is abandoned. Yes, and you're
Okay,
heading
so it's
to
at
that
night.
one.
All right. Well, the first thing to do is to circle the perimeter. I'm specifically looking to see if they have electricity, such as a meter outside, which you usually do.
Go ahead and you will circle the building, and you will find the meter. It is not necessarily a hidden object, and you will check the meter, and it is at 0.
All right. So they're not getting power through this. Okay, that would be the first suspicious sign. All right. I'll go inside the building through the office entrance.
All right, it is locked, of course.
All right. Well, we're in the middle of nowhere, right?
That you are. As far as you can tell, only darkness is around you.
All right. I'll kick open the door.
All right, so you kick open the door. Go ahead and roll me body athletics to break it down.
Well, technically, be fighting to break it down.
Yeah, fighting would work.
Because fighting
But
is
you
a
could just
skill I
put
have.
you could put your leg into it too and add athletics as well.
Oh, okay.
I'm just giving it to you. It's just a door.
Bam!
That door is no more. And you can hear you hear a squawk from inside at the sound of that.
Somebody heard that. I will hide.
All right, go ahead and give me a hide roll.
That's 2 successes.
Okay. As you hide, you go ahead and hide behind a very large machine that looks like it may be used to probably process wheat.
Interesting.
And as you do, you see someone coming down down a metal stairwell from a higher up office with a candle in his hands.
A candle? Holy crap. Who is this goofball?
It looks from where you are, you can tell he looks like a sparrow. And he's looking over at the open door, and you can hear him sort of gently whisper, "Somebody there."
I'll
You
say
see
from
his,
the shadows. When he says
see
there's someone
his-
there, I'll say from the shadows, yes, you can help me by helping yourself by answering my questions.
Why don't you step out into the light there?
I will step out in the light. Of course I am the woman in black.
Of course. And as you do, he pulls a gun. Now you just stay right where you are.
I'll stop when he pulls out the gun. That's
Yeah.
how curious. Gonna pause, because all steely-eyed.
Now you just wait right there. And he starts descending the stairwell.
Well, I waited until he descended the staircase, so he went to go check the door. But but we're just standing across the open ground, and I'll stop when he pulls out the gun, and I'll just point out to him. It's like, so, you're not Mr. Collier.
No, afraid not. Just who are you then?
Who I am isn't important. Why are you here?
I'm here for my own business. What's it matter? You're not one of his boys, are you? Oh, one of his girls. Didn't think he hired out like that.
I represent only myself. I'm interested in finding out who Mr. Wonderful is.
I can see you already know too much, and I will roll for initiative.
Oh, all right. Let's do it. You already know too much and shoot me. Yes, I feel like a masked adventurer.
All right, he has 1. He won't be dazed.
Okay, which is good. That's a little bit of a shame. This is mind and observation.
I had to drag a brand new.
And screw you, I'm a fox. I have focus, but you have the gun, so you are technically starting the fight.
That is correct. He's going to be at a short distance because he did not get too close to you.
I will use my focus to interrupt, and I will guard.
Absolutely. So you are currently guarded, and we even have a new sheet of statuses for us to color in.
Okay, excellent. I'll just remember that. Right, so when he says you know too much, I mean, I hunch down like Batman.
Yep.
So what are you going to do with your turn?
With his turn, he's going to go ahead and choose to aim at you and then shoot you.
I wouldn't expect anything else.
Right, he's going to go ahead and roll.
Oh, and it's a short range.
Yes, so go ahead.
Well,
and
it doesn't matter. You
D8.
missed me. You shoot
Incredibly,
basically in my direction.
you hear the bullet ricochet off into the distant factory, echoing wherever it has gone. He
Which
does
is
lose ammo out of it, but he didn't get anywhere. It is now
weird,
your
you're
turn.
a skilled shootist. I will close the distance, so I will make the athletics roll to do that. That is 2 successes.
All right,
I think
you
that's good enough to get
successfully
to,
clear the distance in a single action.
and I think that's good enough to get to close range. And
I guess he'd be closer to you. There we go. That makes more sense.
I need to disarm him, so I will. Wow, you are actually a very skilled shooter. Actually,
one of those is ammo and another one was aiming, so.
Yeah, no, I'm going to close the distance, and actually when I get in his face, I'm going to guard.
All right.
So he goes bang, 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 and I go swish, swish, swish. Yeah.
And in a panic, he is going to go ahead and try to aim and shoot at you again and go, stay still.
I will counterattack with a jab.
There you go. So he's going to go ahead and give another try at this. Was that the stunt? No, I think if it's only within short, it's not a stunt yet. If I recall right. I don't have the book open right
No,
now.
I had 2 successes. I could move to close the distance.
Right. So this is attempt to shoot you at close range, and he gets a 3 at best.
Wow.
2 successes on him.
So I jab him for I just trained myself in boxing. That's a 3-point hit. Bam! You must soak it down to 0.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give him a rough outfit. That is 1 success, and then he is panicked.
He taps the panic.
Yes, he does, and his panic is gonna be yellow. He's a yellow belly coward.
All right, well it's my turn. Which means you can't attack, but you can counterattack. So I'm going to aim and take away your gun. You may counterattack me if you want.
He will. He will continue firing blindly at you.
All right. Well, it makes sense.
Yeah. Not going to take my gun from me. He gets a 5 this time.
Wow. You are a dangerous opponent.
8, by the way.
Okay.
He's a danger to himself and others.
Crap, I think I may have hurt you. That does 3 points of damage as I grab your wrist and twist the gun out of your hands.
You hear him squawk, and he goes a little bit limp. Probably more out of just sheer panic and fear than from an actual injury you've inflicted upon him here. But he is out cold.
All right.
And his gun, of course, drops to the ground as well.
No, I
into your hand. That's right.
The gun's mine now. All right, so I wrestle him, slam him in the floor, and then pause to look and see that he's out cold. But there's no blood, right? He's just out cold.
That's right.
All right, I'll pause to look at his gun. What is he shooting?
He has a pocket pistol, a bodyguard.
Okay,
it's extra short.
So this is just a holdout pistol. Okay, so it's not serious hardware. All right, well, that makes sense. I'll just take that. Now that he's unconscious, I will take out my handcuffs. I will handcuff him and go through his pockets. What ID does he have on him?
You go through his pockets, and you do not find any ID on him.
Really? Wow, you are a deep sleeper agent.
Things you would find on him: an extra magazine of ammunition,
Yep.
his
Mine
rough
now.
outfit, of course, and a small pocketbook.
Oh, what's in the pocketbook?
The pocketbook has a series of dates and different addresses. It look,
Wow.
including this one.
Are there any notes to them or just addresses?
Uh, just addresses.
Interesting. Okay, I'll pocket that. I love this. Clues. All right.
That's right. What else?
Well, he's out cold. That gives me a little while to look around. I'm going to go up the stairs to look where he came from.
All right, you go up the stairs to the office. Do you have a flashlight or anything?
I do. Click, click.
Click, click, easy. You shine your flashlight up there. And you see what looks like a small office. It looks a little trashy, like nobody's really been here very long, except for a specific area where a lot of dust has been cleared out of the way, especially on the desk, where there's a bunch of blank paper, envelopes, and stamps. And you can see that there's been some, quite a lot of opened messages left on the desk as well.
Are they address forms to order Mr. Wonderful gear?
Indeed, they are.
So he's the mook that they pay to hang around here and gather all this stuff. And that makes him but there's no electricity here, and I'm assuming that there's no phone because I look around for one.
There is no phone here. And you're not even certain that there's a phone wire hooked up to this entire office.
Right. Okay. I'll go back downstairs, check to make sure he's still out, right?
You go back downstairs, and about now he is, let's roll body, rousing slowly.
All right. I'll set him into a seating position.
Where's my gun?
Shh. You really are doing yourself a disservice because I only have a few questions and I need you to answer them truthfully or I will reintroduce you to your gun.
That sounds like a threat. Would you like to scare him again?
I will go ahead and scare him. I don't like
Alright.
to do this, but I am in a hurry and scaring people is my only useful skill.
Question number 1, where's Reach? That is one success there. He does gulp a little bit.
I would like to declare a favorite use.
Absolutely. You get to reroll that d12 there.
Yes, my favorite use is, of course, using my presence with criminals.
Yes.
Yes, 2 successes.
2 successes. He gives an even bigger gulp. Yeah, you wouldn't hurt me. The cops would be all over this.
Okay, who are you and who pays you?
My name's Merle Slater. I get paid by someone over in Trichoga. They just pay me to move this from one place to another.
Where do you take the letters that you receive?
I got it over in the pocketbook. If you check like this page right there, it'll sort of point it out to you.
I mean, I'll hold the paper book out, the book out for him to see.
Yep. And he will point out an address. I'm just gonna scroll back up to make sure I have it right.
Okay, and this address is all the way back in Trichoga?
That is correct. It actually looks like it is in a city outside of Trichoga.
So it's in the outskirts. Okay, so it's a borough of Trichoga.
Yeah, let me see. I wrote it down. I'm just trying to find the name again.
Interesting. Okay. So what do you do once a week? Once a week, you travel back to Trichoga.
No, I just live out here now. I just kind of go place to place and where they say all the letters are gonna be. Changes
So
up
you just
every now and then.
so you just mail them back to this address.
Yeah, it's nothing big, but they pay me good.
It's. I mean, I'll look at the address. It's not a PO box, right?
This is not a PO box.
It's another. It's another residential address. Okay. Hmm. Merle, I'm good. I said I was going to do you a favor, so I'm going to give you a moment here to think, to evaluate your life choices and what got you here to this moment, where a strange person came to you in the middle of the night and warned you that the weed of crime bears bitter fruit.
He will gulp and go. Um, I'm pretty sure this night is gonna make me think of a lot of things. Here we
I'm
go.
going to uncuff Merle, give him the calling card of the woman in black, the number of the black phone. Say, if you find any more information about your mysterious benefactors and want to tell me rather than save me the effort of looking it up, because I'll have to get in close. I'm a very busy person.
Well, what you paying me? Better than them?
Yes. You're a simple man, a salt of the earth, Merle, and in some ways I can appreciate that. Bear Hill Golf Club. I might actually have a chair there. How
I
odd.
might have a chair in every golf club.
Yeah. Well,
Everyone does.
I'm a crappy dilettante, so.
Yeah.
Uh. So you need to clean up your act, Merle.
This was better than trying to rob people back in
Better than just mugging.
back in Jersey.
I need the handcuffs back, so I'll take those.
Yeah, you get him out of here. I don't want to see those again.
It's been a very enlightening visit, and hopefully it's changed your life. The next time I meet you in person, it will be another life-changing event.
I hope not to see you again. Maybe I'll give you a call. You got the money.
I'll sneak back into the shadows and go back to town, get the express night train back to Trichoga. Before I go back, wait, Fui is our federal agent, right?
That is right, and they are not present right now.
Thinking, do I want to get the feds involved with this? No, because I'm thinking I don't know anything just yet, so I don't want to like have him raid this place. I mean, I guess also it's late at night, but yeah, I need to get the night train. So, yep, I just drove out here, went to a place, beat up a guy, get back on the train. I'm a Batman character.
It looks like in their attempts to cover their tracks, you followed them down and have done more than any local policeman could have ever done.
Yeah, I'll just leave Merle to his miserable business. Like I said, sneak back on the train, go right back to Trichoga.
Yes, and as you hear his talons sort of click and shakes, frightened back on the concrete, you can tell he's definitely not going to tell anybody. Who'd believe him? And you go back to Trichoga. Let's see. So that would give you at least that covers yesterday and this day. We're missing most people. I kind of want to get to a point where we'll wrap up, so I'll go ahead and cover what's going to go on with Dante and Hugo,
Roger that.
and then by the end of it, we'll go ahead and wrap up a little bit. So Dante, you were going somewhere.
Yeah, home.
You were going home. Let me go ahead and scroll up to that. You begin to go to your home. Home seems much the same as it always has been, though the white paint maybe is a bit dirtier and the lawn a little longer than it should be. Uh, you walk up the paved steps up to the front door, and what do you do? Knock.
Yeah, it seems appropriate.
All right. You knock, and of course, you see your mother answer the door slowly. And when she sees you, her face sort of lights up. Let me see if I got your name right. It was Clarence, wasn't it?
Oliver. Oliver is
Oliver,
my
there
name.
we go. I had to like scroll up to a different section to get that one.
Oliver Turpleton.
Oliver, Oliver, you came back. Oh, please come in. Come in. You must be exhausted.
I mean, I'm probably like take my hat off. 'Cause I'm still in full fancy outfit. You know, trip to the woods, fancy outfit.
Oh, look at you! Look at you, all in a suit, just like your father. So he's such a successful businessman. I don't think you've sent me back any letter in some time. I started to get very worried.
Oh. I mean, I'm probably like crimping the edge of my hat in nervousness.
Yes, and as you go inside the light is a bit dim, given how cloudy it is outside. And the family room's a little bit dusty. In the corners, the grandfather clock still ticking, right beside the armchair that nobody has ever sat in again. A new radio table, though, is beside the fireplace, and it's still playing a bit of the morning news.
Oh, how have you been, Ma? It's been a long time.
Oh, you know how it is, just trying to keep in good spirits. Still living off the funds your father left. Though I'm still trying to keep that afloat with a little bit of extra work at the general store, with Mr. McCoy's boy. Mr. McCoy himself passed on about 5 years ago now, actually. But it's always very nice there, you know. Usual farmers coming in. Always a nice surprise though when that Mr. Swiftwing comes in. And she'll just sort of smile a little bit and try maneuvering you over to the couch and bring over a little bit of a little tin of cookies. What about you though? You've come back. You must be here to see everyone left in town.
I mean, I'm probably like a noise, like, Ma, I haven't been back in like 20 years. I don't really care to see anybody in town.
Oh, don't be like that. Some of them used to be your friends, right? Oh, like 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 Albert. Yes, that was the name of him, right? Just down the road, doesn't he?
Who?
Let me see. I need to make sure I got the name right. Doop doo doo. Gotta scroll up too. Mr. Harvey's child.
You mean that
We used to
kid?
always talk about him over at school.
Yeah, the kid I kept complaining was beating me up every day?
Oh, I'm sure it wasn't that bad. You just past always distorts in memory, you know. Sure, he was a lot nicer than you give him credit for.
Yeah, sure. How are you doing,
Oh,
Ma? I just came by to see you, that's all.
oh well, I'm still so glad you came to see me. I'm just happy to see how my boy's been doing. What kind of business do you have now? Just look at that fancy suit. Must
I...
be making $1,000 already.
Oh, right. I run a production company.
A production company? What kind of things you building up there?
Stage effects for fancy people.
Oh, for fancy people, for those theater folk. Ah, I always told you never to go too close to them. They'll never really stick to anything they say.
Really? What makes you say that?
Oh well, we got the local theater here, and they put on a performance every now and then. But every time they're at the store, they just never seem to have any of the cash they need at the time. Always running up a tab.
Well, you shouldn't let people run up a tab.
Oh, well, they're locals, and it's not like they're going anywhere. It always pays to be neighborly. And eventually, we see enough shows, they come back and pay a little bit of it off. Oh, but they're always so. If they would just give themselves to a good, hard, honest day's work like my boy here, I'm sure they could, settle all their debts in no time.
Right, but are you watching their shows to pay their bills so they'll pay you back?
Well, gotta do something for entertainment around here. Well, this radio's been wonderful, but, oh, some of the stories they say, they're just so dastardly. The one I was listening to last night, they were talking about someone shooting another character. Oh, it was just, and she just like hugs herself a little bit. It's just frightening to think about that sort of thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay too much attention. That radio, it's just nothing but nonsense. I don't see
Oh,
it
but it's
catching
always
on.
nice to have a little noise in the house, though. I do miss having you around.
People will always want to see people face to face. That radio thing, that's not catching on. The theater, I mean, that's where it's at.
Oh, that's not what Mr. McCoy says these days. Says everyone he knows has one of them now.
You said he was
At
dead.
least over in Trichoga. Say that again?
I said, you said he was dead. How long ago did Mr. McCoy say this?
Oh, I'm talking about his boy. I guess they're both Mr. McCoy now, huh? That's just sort of how time passes.
Well, I'm assuming they both have a first name.
And you're gonna stretch me to find it.
Well, I mean, it's
Nicholas.
easier than saying Mr. McCoy and figuring out if we're talking about a junior or a senior. It doesn't work that way, though, if they have different names.
There we go. I'm gonna go ahead and write a note here, Nicholas. There we go. Yeah, his boy Nicholas. Always going over to Trichoga. Must have a bunch of friends over there.
I don't know. I don't know any Nicholas. I don't even remember the McCoys.
Oh, that's a shame. Oh, maybe they were just a little bit younger than you were. Must have been in a different grade at the time. I know all of you boys, you always split up by age, always tried to ignore the younger ones. That's just how it was. Oh, would you like some of the tea, dear?
Yeah, I guess.
As you sit around, you sort of look around, and you notice there's a couple of extra objects hanging up on next to a couple of the portraits. They look like little string arts and crafts.
Huh. So you've been. I mean, sorry, out of character, I feel downright foolish because again, I haven't been back in like 20 years. So it's like, oh, you've been redecorating. Well, I guess I would have been in 20 years' time.
Oh, me? Oh no, I've never quite had the hand for that. Always better at organizing people to get stuff done than doing it myself. Uh, I actually bought those off of Mr. Swiftwind. This one I bought actually, about last month. He says they're dream catchers, actually. Funny Indian stuff like that, don't you think? He's such an odd one, but I guess that's to be expected. Oh, they're just so colorful. Just look at the little craftsmanship in this. It's always coming by to get a little bit of extra twine for them, and always trying to sell them off. Not sure he actually has a real job around here. Not actually seen him in a little while either, but he's always scarce like that.
That old man still around?
Oh, yes. I think his father used to live out by the woods, really. Uh, Only a little short walk, but they always kept their distance. Uh, but his father, he put the fear of God into that child for sure. So I'm certain he's also an upright folk like his father was.
Well, I just remember he was about your age when I left. Imagine how old he is now.
Oh, oh, he's getting on in years too, I'm afraid. Ah, never found a woman to settle down with either. Afraid that's gonna be all for Swiftland line. Unfortunate to hear about, but I guess that's just what happens when you can't find love.
Wait, you said Swiftwind?
Like me and your father, and she'll just sort of like look over to his portrait.
Sorry, I thought you said Silverwind.
Swiftwind.
Okay, so that's not the guy that I know then. Not the gorilla, right?
Uh, is it?
I have a
No, I think
Silverwind.
that's actually a different name.
Yeah. Well, just weird because that's also a guy who makes basic arts and crafts. So somebody
Or
who,
maybe it is the same name. I think I actually sent that to you, didn't I?
yeah, you sent me the list of people that I would remember.
Yeah, that was a while back. I forgot what I actually told you. Yeah, I think that is actually the same person.
Okay, so it is Silverwind then. Okay.
Yep, there we go. Now we're clear. Yay! Your memory comes back to you. Oh, so do you tell me, dear, are you gonna stay around long? It'd be so nice for you to spend the night here, and maybe we could go talk to some of the people around town. I'm sure they'd be happy to see you again.
I mean, I'd probably consider that for a moment before saying I'll be in the area for a while, but I don't really. I can't stick around, Ma. I got a business concern back in Trichoga that I gotta keep an eye on.
Oh, we've only just been here. Please tell me that you'd come by at least a little bit more now that you're back in the city, right?
Of course, I mean, I pretty much have to. Your family.
Oh, and maybe I could even come by and see your place of business sometime. Oh, it must be a wonderful factory.
I don't know about that. They're pretty busy. It's not safe for people just go walking through. I wouldn't want to get you hurt.
Oh, I'm sure if I had my strapping young lad here with me, no, nothing bad will ever happen. She'll say as she sort of reaches up and pinches your cheek a little bit and then comes in for a hug.
Scarred permanently by those sloth claws.
Murder too soon. But you can go ahead and spend plenty of time with your mother for now if you like. And I imagine head back later today, or did you have other plans?
No, gotta head back to the library after so I can get picked up by Zemek, who's turned from assistant to limo driver.
Indeed, he has a new job. Zamek, you've had some time alone. You have a few hours to do anything you like. What are your plans for the day?
Nothing much. I already told you what I was going to do with the package, so I pretty much just spend that time. I figured pretty much in the time that he did whatever he's doing, I get to go and sneak off and come back.
Okay, so you go ahead and basically handle the package so that everything is nice and certain and hidden, and you're reasonably confident nobody will necessarily find it without interrogating you or somehow randomly stumble across it or anything like that.
Basically.
Okay, so it's handled, it's safe, it probably won't go off.
Hopefully.
Otherwise, you might come back to a fire.
Yes, I
Uh,
would.
but everything's nice and safe, and you'll return to the library at some point to wait for Dante, right?
Yep. And I'm just sitting there, and I guess in the parking lot, um, you know, passing the time, I guess, until Dante shows up.
Oh, okay, so you just sort of wait outside for him, and by this time, Dante's, of course, walking up, and you see him going down the sidewalk.
Well, the other thing I want to do is, as I'm driving through the town, since Dante's already weirded me out about all this monster, weird creature trying to kill him in the woods, and kids dying, and
Hmm.
weird fun. I just try to get a general vibe of the town, like is it kind of like Stephen King, Castle Rockily, over Overlook Hotel ish kind
What
of
would you
vibe.
have to help you in identifying if a town is actually inside of a horror novel?
I guess I would use the same observation, mind, academic.
I'm not sure there's much academics going on here.
Okay, so I'll
Not
just skip that.
specifically analyzing or remembering anything important here.
All right, so I'll just make it a 2d6 plus 1d8.
You could,
Is
of
that cool?
course, question people,
Um,
but you
hmm.
sound like you're just driving through.
Yeah, I guess I'm just driving through.
All
So
right,
yeah,
go ahead and roll me that observation. Then.
Conversely, though, the speed limit in the 1920s was probably very low. To a degree, you probably hold conversations driving down
yeah,
the
I could
road.
just be rolling. I could
Yeah,
just be
this front
rolling.
of town
Hey,
is
what's
this like
up?
5 mile per hour limit.
Man wasn't meant to drive that fast.
Can you imagine them driving at such dangerous speeds as 30 miles an hour? That would just be reckless and dangerous in a populated neighborhood.
God
And that is
forbid.
2 successes. Uh, from what you could tell, the town is basically a comfy, sleepy, nothing really happens here town. Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of things to do around town, even honestly, aside from the small theater. Um, and unless you happen to be involved in with a church group or some activity, you're not sure you really have any place to stay. There's not even really a bar in town. Well, definitely not because of Prohibition. But you do
Interesting.
see something kind of odd in some of the attitudes that you see. Most people are maybe engaged in conversation or doing something, but the ones who aren't engaged with anyone, uh, you notice they kind of have their expressions are a little down. They seem a little bit muted rather than, say, ordinarily happy or neutral.
I see. Okay, so I guess as I'm waiting at the library, could I have a passing conversation with someone and see if I can pick up more
This is the
on?
library back in Trichoga, I believe. So,
Is it back in Trichoga? I
No,
thought we were still.
no, I said the
Oh,
library in town. I'm not walking
oh, they
back to
got.
Trichoga so he can drive
I
me to
was
Trichoga.
Yeah, I
deeply,
was going to say.
I was deeply mistaken about the logistics here.
Yeah, I'm not walking back to Trichoga so he can drive me back to Trichoga.
Yeah, that
That's
would be a little ridiculous.
that's
Okay,
insanity.
so you're outside. Yeah, so you're walking up to the library, the
So yeah,
local library.
could I have a passing conversation with a few locals and see if I can pick up on why people are so weird?
Oh well, sure there, Mister. How you doing?
What's going on?
Oh well, not much. Just heading down to the general store, pick up a couple of nails. Got a couple of boards out of place. What about yourself? What brings you here to this sleepy little town? Seen you
Oh,
around
well,
before?
yeah, I was here with my boss who had to take care of some personal business, and he told me to wait down here at the library to come pick him up. And yeah, I was just curious about the town and its locations, if there were anything about. You know, I have kind of like a sheepish smile. He goes, I heard there's some like really weird ghosts, creepy story happening around. At least that's what my boss tells me. Kind
He'll
of a
just sort of chuckle a little bit. It's like the children must be getting to you. What do you
that's
have
what
to
he
do?
said.
What skill do you have to talk to people to ferret out extra information? Do you have questioning?
I have presence.
Uh,
I don't think that would
well,
work.
you're not exactly doing a performance here, and you definitely don't want to scare them with your outsiderness.
Um, I mean, well, evasion is more physical evasion, not mental evasion, right?
Correct.
I'm assuming. Okay, well, no, I really don't have anything except for academics presence. It's the only thing I could think of. I really can't think of anything else. Mind academic presence. It's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, well, I'm not sure academics really fits into a conversation, but how would you be applying presence here?
I guess I will just be doing my best stage performance act to try to be as off-putting, not off-putting, but be as friendly and receptive to information as
So,
possible.
so you'll actually do a little bit of an improv performance then.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe you'd like to roll me speed and presence and see what
Speed,
kind of trick you can pull off.
speed, presence. All right.
Tell them
Let's see
that
what
you're a
we.
magician and prove it so, and it'll
Uh,
brighten their mood. All right, with 2 successes, what kind of trick might you pull?
and so yeah, like I said, I kind of make it out to be like I have like a guilty pleasure smile, and like I'm kind of like a collector of ghost stories and like weird town stories. Like my boss and I, we travel all over the place. We see a lot of strange things. We hear a lot of strange stories. At the bar, people always want to hear something weird. And he just told me this place was known for something, but then he ran off and did his personal business, and I'm just sitting here, and I was just wondering if you knew anything about
Oh, oh, so you're some sort of some sort of strange investigator kind of person then.
it. Call it a hobby.
Well, I suppose everyone has to do something to be interested. I think there's probably a few ghost stories around town. Uh, about things that have happened. Well, I guess it wouldn't be too rude to talk about, but well, it's always seems like there's somebody missing, and I think one of the children in town has recently gone missing again.
I heard he mentioned something about the woods.
Oh, the woods. Yeah, always seems to be something about the woods. Always something my mother said too. Some group of kids just sort of disappeared one day. Strange that. I didn't really get the full story. I didn't really much care. I figured she was just trying to scare me. Uh,
Well,
now that Claudia disappeared, I wonder.
what did she try to scare you with? What was the actual nature of the story?
Oh, said something about how some strange sloth boy went out there one day and all of his friends disappeared. Came back and barely ever said a word after that. Seemed like he clammed up tight. Said they never found
Uh,
any of them ever again. But
huh.
a story like that, doesn't really sound like a real thing. Uh,
You said a sloth boy.
yeah, that's what she said.
I see. Did the sloth boy ever say what exactly happened to his friend?
Afraid not. Never said a word. Nobody really knows. My mother says that he's got to have had something to do with it, but he just kind of shrugs. Guess they never found anything.
And these weren't the only kids that went missing from the woods.
No. Hasn't been many missing until recently around here, but I always hear from a couple towns over, you know, someone that no one's seen for a week just doesn't seem to ever turn up again.
You
Sort of
said there was a
strange.
you said there was a kid recently went missing?
Oh yeah, Claudia Harvey, just sort of last week. Ah,
Huh.
poor Albert. He's been so terribly depressed afterwards. Police said they haven't really found a trace of his daughter at all.
Terrible,
Uh,
terrible things.
yeah, poor old guy. Comes back from war and now his daughter's missing.
These days and times.
Days and
Yeah.
times.
He goes, well, thank you, good sir. Let me not interrupt the rest of your day. I'm pretty sure my boss will get back here pretty quickly. You know how bosses are.
Oh,
So,
of course. And if you're ever looking for a couple of extra vegetables, I got some in my victory garden still.
awesome, great, great. And just one last thing. This Claudia family,
Yeah,
what
the
part of
Harveys.
town? The Harveys. Where exactly in town do they live?
Oh, hmm. I really don't think I've ever met them before, but I always hear they kind of are over on this side of town.
Okay,
Can't
thank
miss
you.
them. They're big folk. Bunch of bears.
I'm sure they'll stand out. Will you have a nice day, sir? And I give him a nice, hand pump shake.
He'll go ahead and exchange a shake. Well, nice seeing you around. Hope everything goes well for you. Looking for those ghost stories.
And he goes, you've certainly piqued my interest, sir. You have a nice day. And I give him a little salute with my hat.
He'll go ahead and just sort of imitate it, and he's got a little bit of a smile on his face for a moment.
All right,
Before he heads on with his business.
and I assume a few minutes later, a certain suspicious sloth-looking person walks up.
Yes.
I mean,
It's blood on his claws. Oh god, there's blood everywhere.
can you really look suspicious when you're dressed in such a fancy suit? Also,
Well, he
it's
needs
not
to wear fancy suits.
it's not blood, it's raspberries.
I go, hey boss, so you took care of what you had to take care of?
Yeah, I took care of her.
Well, uh, I asked. I go. I took care of her. That's pretty interesting. Um, well, I asked around. There's definitely something weird going around here. There is actually a story of some children who were missing years ago, and they go, Says some strange soft boy came out and never mentioned anything about it ever again. He goes, but um, you might be interested in finding out that there's another kid missing right now. Um, Claudia. I forget the last name again. Hayworth?
So close. No, wait. No, you're not.
No, I know it's an H.
I mean, are you asking out of character or in character?
Out of character.
Harvey.
Harvey.
Last name is Harvey.
Harvey. Harvey. Yes, Claudia Harvey. And I go, if you're really curious to find out what's out there, I guess we have to go and talk to them.
I don't. Sorry, one sec. No, I don't. I don't think I need to. I don't think I need to talk to the Harveys.
Okay,
I'm
boss.
familiar with
It's
the
your field trip.
Harveys. Yes. I got confused for a second, by the way, when you were saying Claudia Harvey, because I was thinking, didn't Wanda Harvey go missing? And it's like, wait a second, no, she's fine.
I go, okay, boss. It's your field trip.
Well, like I said, if there's nothing going on here, then I don't know. Maybe it was all
Well,
in
like I
my
said,
mind.
there is something going on. Like I said, this Claudia Harvey kid recently vanished.
So this is the moment where I turn aside to the camera. Oh no, boss, everything's fine. You don't have to have nightmares anymore. Oh no, there is something happening.
Born psychologist, I think was the term.
Yeah, let me just reinforce all your deepest fears so you'll get over them faster, you little sissy. Wait,
I'm,
what?
I'm more of a. Because you should confront your fears.
Well, if you want to talk to them, I suppose I could follow you and you could speak to the Harveys and see what you might find out.
Well, you've certainly piqued my interest. I'd also like to know more of this little boy that survived this attack all those years ago. It seems vaguely familiar to me.
Yes, let's see if we can find him as well.
Yeah, let's see if we can track him down.
Alright, so the plan is to actually go to the Harvey residence, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Alright. So you approach the Harvey residence, and of course it is even labeled as such, up on the white picket fence. There's a little garden up front, with a couple vegetables in it. Uh, and as you approach the door, which of you knocks and will see the door?
I imagine it
I guess.
seems like we're both approaching at the same time, but when one of us reaches for the door to see if the other one's gonna knock, you're gonna look back and you see I'm not even up the stairs.
I just give him a smile, and I knock on the door and see who answers.
Alright. Oh, I even have text for this. Dante. The Harvey house is actually one of the houses you've never stepped in before. And in most, you've seen it through the doors or windows. You remember Wanda always insisted on meeting you elsewhere, and her father didn't like letting young boys older than his own step inside. Uh, on the door, the nameplate is no longer her father's, but Albert Harvey, her brother. And also has another name, Aubrey Harvey, which you recognize as a sort of teenage heartthrob of your generation.
My
But
generation?
yes, it used to be the kind of person people would talk about as being the most beautiful in school at that moment.
So wait, the Harveys had 3 kids? Wanda,
Uh,
Albert, and whoever you just
Aubrey
said?
is Albert's wife.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a second. I got you now.
Yes, yes. So you can just tell that by the nameplate that they've left outside. With Zamek at the front door, Zamek, you'll knock, and a little bit later, you'll see a sort of older-looking bear walk up to the door, in a sort of uh, plaid shirt, honestly. And he'll look you up and down and go, "Can I help you, sir?"
Well, yes. Good afternoon. I'm sorry to disturb you. My boss used to live around here, and he told me that he knew this place, and I heard something happened to one of your children, and we just came to pay our respects and see if we could do anything to help. He's kind of nervous and shy. He's sitting over there at the truck, and I lean
He'll like
over and
loom his eyes like over and like put a hand on your shoulder and like gently shove you like an inch aside so he can see. And
yeah,
what are you doing back there,
and,
Dante?
and I'm just waving. I'm just waving like, "Hey, boss, is this him? Is this the guy?"
Well, I mean, when you knocked, I was probably. I mean, when you approached, I was probably at the foot of the steps. But when you knocked, I was probably back at the fence. And when you mentioned my name, I'm probably back at the truck.
That's right. That's why I'm kind of like, "Hey, boss, is this the guy? Is this the guy you were talking about?"
I tip my hat down to make myself a little bit less conspicuous in my fancy suit. Like, shake my hand, wave. Like, ah.
Your boss, huh?
Yeah, I think he went by the name of and then you see me like scratching my Oliver.
You don't know that.
Do I not know that?
You
Did
do
you say
not know
something
that.
about
I
me?
have never shared that in character, and no one has ever said that out loud in your presence.
Didn't no one mention the word Oliver to me?
My mother said it when you weren't there. That's the only time it's
Okay,
been said in
never.
character or out of character.
All right, never mind. Scratch that. Retcon that. I
Okay.
never mentioned that.
Given
But
that he's still at a distance, he hasn't said anything yet.
so he
Um,
goes. Like I said, he's terribly shy. He didn't want to embarrass himself and knock on a door with someone that he didn't recognize or he didn't grow up with or something like that. So, you know,
he just sort of scratches his head a little bit. So, what do you want then? What does he want?
well, like I said, we heard that this terrible thing happened to you, and my boss, he's a pretty special guy. He's not very talkative, but he's wondering if perhaps he could help you out and figure out what happened to your Claudia. Is it right? That's what I heard.
I'm just sort of like wrapping my brain through this.
Yeah, he's figuring out how badly he wants to kick your ass.
Yeah, yeah,
One thing he keeps throwing around his what we have all assumed is dead daughter's name now, and he was kind of a jerk before, so
yeah. He's actually gonna kind of look at you, and he's gonna like reach a hand out for like your collar and just sort of like heft you up by the shirt a little bit. You go tell that son of a bitch to stay away from my family. When I lose, it's been a week and he's back already. How do I know he's not responsible for this one too?
Been back already? I'm kind of look confused.
He's going to go ahead and like turn you and just put you up against the wall of his own house here. It's like, where is she? What did he do to her? Where's Claudia?
And I go, hey, listen,
I'm
buddy,
gonna let him
this
come
is
back and just laugh in my face. Where is she?
I go, listen, friend. Listen. My boss said he knew you, and I'm just intermediary here. Didn't you ever hear the message? Don't kill the messenger.
What do you have to try to calm down someone irrationally, uh, angered at the loss of his daughter? What do you have?
I guess will presence,
That'd probably do more to try to seem bigger than him right now.
mind
Um,
presence, and see if I can try to appeal to his comic, try to appeal to his better nature. I don't know at this point.
uh,
I kind of
that
want to
might
live.
not fly here right now. You might have to settle for mind negotiation. I was
My
actually trying to pull up the reasoning stunt real quick.
I don't have reasoning, so I literally have academics, endurance, presence, athletics, evasion, observation. You know what? F all this. At this point, I'm kind of
Yeah,
getting my
We are
hackles.
not the talkie crew.
Yeah,
very much so.
No.
I kind of got my hackles up. So I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna switch that. I'm gonna use speed, athletics, evasion, and squirm out of his grasp.
You can in fact try to squirm. I'm just
All
gonna
right.
look up one thing I wanted to see first, which was remind myself that reasoning is mind will negotiation. If you wanted to go back for that,
And I
attack
don't have.
methods.
All right. So I
Yeah,
have
squirming.
two.
You don't have contortionist as a gift, do you?
No, but I have athletics, evasion, and that's what I have. So I said squirm, but I really just want to get out of his grip and get out.
You do still have brawling. Overbear does give you escape.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you could actually use fighting
Yeah,
and
so body will
overbear.
fighting would be to use overbear to try to escape.
Body will fighting. Oh no, we
Yeah.
talked about this. I don't have fighting. I only have brawling.
Right, so you would have body will.
Right. So
Well,
I
how are your
can't
body
use.
and will?
I
Are
don't
they
know.
good?
That's what I can't use evasion athletics.
To get out of somebody's grip, you have to break their grip, which involves using fighting or contortionist.
Conversely, just to throw this out there, he said
Whoa. I have
specifically he's only grabbing you by the collar. Just unbutton your shirt and slip out.
I also have. You know what? I just realized I also have acrobatic.
Uh, I think that gives you a bonus to some situations, right?
I guess the GM could rule you could slip out of your outfit with athletics.
Right. If you want to, you'll lose your outfit for a minute, but you can do it if you want.
Okay, that's what I do. Yeah, because he is grabbing him by the collar, so I could, in theory, just I mean, me and Dante are magicians. We do this stuff all the time. Quickly,
Okay. So you go ahead
quick.
and use your acrobatic sense to lift up your arms, slide straight out of your shirt, and you are half naked, but you are not held. And he will just kind of look at you, just a slight bit stunned for a moment.
And then I quickly just
Yeah,
dart
getting
down
the
the
hell out of
stairs.
there is speed and
Yeah,
athletics.
yeah. I'm gonna GT to FO now at this point, out of his reach. I don't really care.
He is, of course, looking at you, running back to the truck, and he's looking over at you, Dante, and he's screaming, "Oliver! Oliver, get out here!" And he is running uh, towards it. So, what do you have to try to beat him to the truck?
Get in the car,
I
Zamek! Get in!
I definitely
Drive!
Speed
I def
athletics?
speed athletic evasion, right? I mean,
Uh, yep, I'll go ahead and let that happen, and I'm gonna go ahead and give him, boop doop. Oof. Alright.
okay, so that's gonna be what? There you go.
Hey, there you go. You beat him to the truck by an inch. Slide inside before he gets up to the passenger door where Dante is,
Put
and
the car in drive
and
and
you drive. You slide straight across the hood on the process, but you get out. And you are driving away as he is left on the corner with your shirt, waving it and screaming, "Oliver!"
I turn over to Dante and I go, "You're gonna owe me a new shirt, Oliver."
That's not my name.
Well, with a name like Oliver, I would have changed it to Dante too. And I just keep driving.
I don't know
I
what you're
feel like
talking
that's
about.
actually a wonderful statement to end on. So if it's fine with everyone, we could go ahead
Yeah,
and stop here.
we're good. Thank you.
Alright, so this all ended up a little bit shorter than usual, unfortunately, and we had trouble at the beginning, and I'm sorry about that. Um, And of course, no objectives really got done today, but that was sort of expected. But there will be 2 experience involved by the end of this, and I'm gonna make sure Fui knows too, because he was at least here. Um, so let's go ahead and open it up to Motto first. Dante,
I always have a plan.
Did you know?
Sonic,
The sun will always come out tomorrow. I was definitely very optimistic about how everything was going to turn
you
out.
you
Even
definitely were, and there was some kind of plan to begin with, but it sort of fell apart. And Claudia,
Justice tempered with mercy. I
you
was
showed
very
plenty of
kind.
mercy,
Yeah, very kind to Merle there.
even after he tried and demonstrated his lack of firearms technique.
No, he's pretty good shit. He could have freaking killed me, but
Could have,
um,
but didn't just yet.
not how it works when you're a masked adventurer.
All right. So debrief, thoughts, comments, concerns.
no, it was cool. Other than technical difficulty, I mean,
I
it
know.
was fine.
I'm sorry for those 2.
No, that's fine. That's not your fault. The only other thing is kind of like, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of like swimming around in all this, wondering where do I, how occult is this going to get?
Mm-hmm.
So, other than that, it was
Also, is your
And I think
boss
I described
a
it to
child
Vito
murderer?
earlier as a slow burn.
yes, it's my boss, Jason Voorhees now.
Right. I'm of the opinion right now that that some of the most fun part of the occult stuff is the burning, is the build up towards discovering that it exists. Because once you do, then it's just like, well, it's just a thing. Let's go shoot it.
That's true. I agree.
Something
So
weird
I
is
think the
going on.
tension is very fun. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, of course.
Well, I'm enjoying the build up to it. Like something is going on where this weapon obviously is far beyond what I would expect, and there's
Mhm.
obviously some shady dealings going on here. I like the slow pickup that's going on here, and I'm sure Emmett has some supernatural problems too. So I mean, I'm enjoying it.
Right. And everyone has been a little bit spread out too, so I think that's also slowed things a little bit. But I'm hoping that things will converge a little bit more. If we had the other 2 here, I think things could have sped up a little bit on that. I wasn't quite expecting you to make the trip out there. I was actually expecting the federal investigator to like call in a favor or something.
No, it's go look
That was a
hands
little
on.
surprising. I had to sort of roll with that, but I think it came out quite informative nonetheless.
Yeah, I like going places and checking stuff out. It's pretty cool.
Yep.
So that was fun.
So maybe I'll also try to expand like the scope to be like, well, maybe you travel somewhere else for a minute and come back. Doesn't have to always just be in the city.
No, that's
But I
cool.
do like trying to keep the scope at least limited. The whole world's not going to blow up, I guess.
I certainly didn't mind the field trip.
Mm-hmm. Uh, I did myself enjoy a bit of Dante's field trip. Went a lot softer than I expected, but that's just fine.
Well, it's all these
And
people.
obviously you guys.
All these people I know are also all these people I would avoid. So it's more about introducing Zamek to things than it is me encountering these things. It's like, yeah, I want to meet my school bully. Why not, right?
And
No.
you 2 are definitely very talkative role players, and I like that a lot. Half in my head, I'm just like, am I going enough places, or should I just let you guys have fun? And you guys are doing an excellent job, and I love seeing you guys interact right now.
Much as I can always imagine what Dante's doing in the background, because he's pushing Zamek forwards because he knows Zamek can solve the situation that he's terrified of. At the same time, people know him, and he doesn't want to encounter those people that know him because the things they know are not going to be great.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna have to actually write down at least 1 or 2 more notes that you did actually end up seeing uh the Harveys. And you guys did get the flower too.
Yep.
So you have the strange orange flower that drips thick blood-like stuff. I'm gonna write that down in the notes. Is there anything else I need to make sure I remember for next time? I have your lead going on, Rafferty. Everything should be good on that part. But anything else
Yeah,
I'm
I
missing?
still haven't made any headway in finding out my friend's murder, but I think this takes precedence because my friend's as dead as he's gonna get.
Yeah. I think I might actually throw a little something at you next time for that. But this session seemed like it had enough going on already that I didn't want to like drop that on into the middle and have like third thing going on.
I like
Well,
I like the
Merle's
I'm hoping enough for you.
world's greatest detective here is she's not getting any deader.
World's
I'm
greatest
not,
detective, zero questioning.
I'm not the world's greatest detective. I never agreed to that. But also Merle's address book. How many addresses does it have in it?
It looked like it just went between the a handful of addresses for the ones that had timestamps and dates on them.
Yeah, I'm
For
definitely
the ones
turning
that he
this over.
sends to, it was maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah, I definitely want to turn this over to the feds, not just because they can investigate all the addresses faster. Building up equity with the feds is something I want to do in my career of fighting crime.
Right, so this way you can always go, it's like, look, I'm not a totally lawless vigilante.
Well, it's okay when you're rich.
It is, exactly. You can get away with anything, especially being a mass vigilante. But I'm definitely going to have to remember the giant penny. I'm going to make a note down. Need giant penny.
It's not. It can be any kind of giant coin, really.
Maybe we'll go for a nickel. Maybe that's what the quarter from the Herald Examiner is. Give you a giant novelty coin for turning in the story.
No, it's just the weird. I always love that because you don't see that as much in comics. The trophy room where they get all that weird crap from weird crime and just put it in.
Right. I think maybe a sensibility developed where it's like, wait a second, wasn't this evidence? And maybe that goes through people's minds now when they like try to think about trophy rooms. Like, why would you?
Well, it
keep
started to
this?
get more like gritty and realistic. It went from the golden age of that kind of silver,
Yeah.
which is just
I
Well,
mean,
there's definitely
that's
at least
a
like
different.
2 or 3 different angles I'm trying to balance here, like
Well,
for
it's
how things should
also
go.
I also think it's a change between like the old Victorian mentality of having like keepsakes and mementos be part of your display, and then people going, "Oh no, wait,
Right,
if
sort of like an imperialistic outtake where it's like, well, I won, I get to take your stuff now, right?
they still had it like Young Justice, which was only a couple of years ago. It just their trophy
Yeah, well,
room was enough stuff that they could fit into a cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's part of the sensibility. So I am trying to stay like I know this is supposed to be an occult game, so that's why I built a character who's cult adjacent.
Right.
So, which
But of
is
course,
weird.
like between balancing like kind of the semi-realistic perspective and the exceptional one, I'm kind of going like, how many Batman villains should I start introducing for our mass vigilante?
Well, I'm looking at like future growth of the
Mm-hmm.
character, and like both Monster Hunter and Fiend both look appropriate growth patterns for the character.
Mm-hmm.
Monster Hunter helps you fight the supernatural specifically. Fiend just turns you into a jerk.
To fight evil,
I
you
do
have to
love
know
that
evil.
It exists, though. It is specifically the "I'm just an asshole" career, which is fantastic.
Well, it works very well for Batman because if you're a fiend, you have Monstrous Soak, and Monstrous Soak is a bonus D12 to do anything to anyone who's afraid. Now, you're not supposed to be like like monsters use it to attack people who are afraid. So in game terms, it means if you meet a monster that's got that, you have to get the scared people out of the room, or the monster will eat them because it could basically do it for free.
Right.
But if you take it as a player character, it's worth it for a character like Batman because you can show up, scare the bejeebers of everybody in the room, and it adds to your stealth to leave.
Oh yeah, that's perfect right there. In terms of setting up possible villains, I almost literally wanted to see a Two-Face situation here with the Acid and the Quickshot Jones here. Things just panned out completely differently from that being a possibility, though. But that would have been rather hilarious.
Well, we'll watch it for it. You can upgrade to Two Gun Jones or whatever.
Who got Jones?
Well, I
got
guess
one
you're
for each half of my face.
more likely to encounter the Condiment King. He also has spray nozzles.
He's the
my God.
condiment king of comedy.
I am scared of Mr. Wonderful. He has an acid that dissolves corpses and turns into lavender. Somewhere there's like a vast like factory where they're making this crap. At least I hope there's a factory where they're making this crap. I'm worried they're just like pumping it out of the center of the earth or something.
I guess he's the artificial diamonds of his day, right? Here's some
I gotta
perfume
figure out
made
where
from
it's come
people.
from.
Who knows who but also Mr. Wonderful is the best bad guy too.
I think he's also
Oh,
one of
really?
the Mike Tyson Punch-Out characters. Oh, he figured it out. Gotta go to the boxing ring.
Yeah. I'm hoping I
What?
can introduce more villains to possibly antagonize you, but I'd like to resolve like one at a time so I can at least build up the rogues gallery. So I don't want to
No, well,
do too
also
many at once.
remember also that a lot of gangsters just had fun. I mean, that's where that came from.
Yeah, a lot of gangsters just have
Gangsters.
cool names like Quickshot Jones here.
Well, Scarface, Bugs Malone, you know,
I imagine Knuckles here is probably going to end up torturing someone for a while. I'm really
Yeah.
curious what he was going to do with Quickshot now that he has him.
Because Batman kind of comes out of Dick Tracy. Like Dick Tracy had all
Mhm.
the weirdo villains, and Dick Tracy's, you know, like just some guy, and then Batman kind of rips it off.
Yeah.
And then Batman, of course, got really like dark and weird, whereas Dick Tracy.
Yeah, so it adds like some of the weirder elements to the people who are already just colorful gangster characters, which is entirely appropriate. So I just need to kind of keep up the colorful gangsters, which that's fun. I like that stuff. Especially with characters who only have like D8 and are minor characters. So I'll think of some more of those. Anything else we want to wrap up with?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, Theta.
Yeah, thanks for running that.
Nope, I'm good.
Thanks. Sorry again for the rough start. But I think this at least gives us some moving potential in the future. And we're moving on to some fun stuff. Alright, so thanks again for coming, everyone, and I'll catch you next time.
All right, talk to you later.
See you around.